Adria Firestone is devoted to helping others realize their potential, live their biggest lives, and enjoy profound fulfillment. She has collaborated with clients around the globe for almost 2 decades. Adria is a leading consultant for life and career transition, presentation skills, and personal and professional development. She has decades of performance, media experience, and coaching the vocal, visual, and verbal aspects of presentation. Audria's unwavering commitment to help others unlock their untapped potential and embrace lives of immense magnitude led her to create the powerhouse consultancy Wise Wild Women Live Loud. Along, along with life coaching, Audria refines presentation skills with high achieving professional women and entrepreneurs. Audria enables her clients to discover the simple mindset shift that gets from focused and calm so they nail every speaking gig on stage or on camera and deliver their point impactfully. Audria's clients discover how to make their networking fun, their confidence soars, and their clients love them. Fluent in 3 languages, Audria was an award winning opera singer and actor for more than half her life. Her credits range from her world renowned Carmen in Bizet's opera to Family Guy. She has been published in the WSJ, the Huffington Post, Women's Day, and was featured on RAI TV, News 12, and Telemundo. For our troops, she has been in the Desert Storm, from Shanghai to the Pacific Rim, and from Cairo to Canada. Audrey has performed throughout the world. Clearly a master at what she does. Audria is the author of 4 books and the bestseller, You Are the Artist of Your Life, a self-help book and journal. On the faculty at New Jersey City University, Audria teaches voice, presentation skills, and the business of show business. As an instructional designer, she has created and presented programs for, among others, Duke University, the National University of Singapore, Dubai English Speaking School, and Northwestern University. I am so honored, and normally I don't read everyone's bio fully, but I wanted you guys to really feel into what she does and what she's created for herself, because your life doesn't need to be one way. You can live all of your passions out fully. And I want you guys to be inspired by that. So with that, Audria, thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, Sarah, I'm so delighted to be here. I listened to all of that and I said, who is that woman?
You have done so much in your career, and it's very inspiring, especially with my performance background. I absolutely love that you are able to live authentically as a creative, but also be able to impact those obviously on the stage, but also in their personal lives and their branding and their speaking journeys. I'm like, where do we even begin? But I would love to start maybe just starting with the creative performer in you. Like, what what makes you tick? What makes you excited to create new projects and ideas?
I think, Sarah, that I couldn't not do it. There's something inside of me that what makes me feel alive is to create beauty. When I was on stage, because of all I had gone through in my past, which I wasn't even aware that I had gone through abuse because it was all I knew. And so you take the pain that you've gone through in your life, and I know that many of us listening to us right now, and we've gone through so much. All of us have gone through something. And I was always taking pain and turning it into beauty. And that is, for me, what an artist does. And that when I say we're an artist of our lives, I believe that we are, that at any time we can choose new colors we can choose a whole new canvas. We can throw out the canvas and we can start over again. And to realize that has allowed me, I think, latitude to reinvent myself because I've had to do it a lot. Oh, Lord, I've had to do it a lot. I really have. To just start over. And I suspect that we're all like cats, and that there's something inside of us that says, well, wait a minute. My feed bowl was right here. Why did you move it 2 inches to the right? And my cat will give me a dirty look. And I think that we're like that. It's the devil we know. So sometimes we stay longer than we intend to in a situation that's really untenable for our hearts and souls. And if in a life that is so intensely full with kids, with your job, with you taking care of the house, with the, we're taking care, women are trained to take care of everything, that we're always supposed to wear our superwoman suit even when we're sleeping. And I say that doesn't work. It doesn't work. And what happens is we need to realize that, wait a minute, this doesn't feel good. And I'm not stopping to listen to what is my soul asking for?
Mm.
What is my heart murmuring? And we need to get quiet to be able to hear that. Because if not, I got very good at taking things from my heart, putting them into my intellect, where I was under the illusion and the wrong impression that I could actually control things.
That is a big problem for a lot of people, and I'm one of those as well, is I think I
Oh,
can control all of my thoughts, and I can tweak whatever past pain I have, and sometimes, like, you can make it into beautiful things, right? But other
yes.
times, it, like, does us a disservice too, because we go into our same old patterns and self-doubt, and I'm sure too with you working with women, you have seen that across the masses that they tend to beat themselves up. And for
I think
those
society teaches us that, Sarah.
yeah, yeah.
You're supposed to look like you're 20 years old. You're supposed to be as wise as a woman who's 70, and you're supposed to take care of everybody except yourself.
Yourself, exactly.
It's like, what?
Mhm.
Doesn't make sense.
So with that, we've been hearing this over and over that we have to take care of everyone else. How can we as women or as working professionals, as executives, how can we step out of that and start to say, like you said, how can we ask our soul, what do you need? Where should we go? All of those deep details.
Sarah, the only way, at least for me, and something that I have guided my clients, and also I guide my students at the university the same way, that you deserve to take time for yourself
Mm.
because no one is going to hand it to you. They're not just going to say, oh, darling, you're looking tired. Sit down. May I get you a cup of tea? When's the last time that happened? Well, what I advise, and it depends, are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? What is your particular time schedule? I am a morning beast, so I will get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and I will take time to sit and do nothing. I take time to meditate. And let me tell you, meditation, do not think you need to sit in a modified lotus position with your hands in a mudra and chant. No, you don't need to. All you need to do is say, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. That's all you need to do is just concentrate on breathing in, I'm breathing out, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, and allow the monkey mind to calm down. And you will be surprised at how your angels will happily fill in that back of the brain saying, honey, relax, get still, allow. That's one of my most frightening words in the world, by the way. You want me to allow? Oh my goodness, then what's going to happen? Then I don't know what's going to happen. Well, allow it to happen. Allow something to unfold. And I find that journaling, and that's why I put in journaling pages in You Are the Artist of Your Life, because when you ask yourself a question and then you say to your brain, you can relax now, my hand is writing, and you just write,
Mhm.
your heart takes over. and you will be surprised by what comes out of your pen. Not just when you're clacking on a keyboard. No, physically writing makes a huge difference. Sometimes I'm scribbling so fast that I think no one, including me, will ever be able to read it again. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So if you take time, whether it's 5 minutes, whether you begin with 5 minutes, heck, if you begin with 3 minutes, give yourself some silence, either in the morning or at night. Give yourself the incredible luxury of sitting down or taking a walk and saying, I'm doing nothing more than just walking right now.
Mm.
I'm doing nothing more than just sitting here right now. Give yourself that gift because we are worth it. The wisdom of women, especially midlife women, because we've gone through so much, is incredible. We can heal the world. I'm not being outrageous when I say that. I believe that that is the truth. That the
Yeah.
shift in society has come home to the feminine, and that includes in all of us who are men as well. Men have this beautiful feminine part of themselves that society says, no, you don't want to show that. And we as women, they're saying, well, you're acting too masculine. You're asking, no, what is this gender assignation of emotions? No, let us be who we are. We are enough.
Mm.
But to honor the enoughness, we need to take time. Please give yourself moments of respite, of quiet. Stop trying to be all things to all people because we can't be, no matter how strong we are.
Yeah. I strongly believe in all of the noise that you find in your life. You can find your silence. Something I've felt for a long period of time. I've really been practicing that the last year because my word was action, but I realized through all the action I needed to quiet down, right? And
Yes,
we do that
Sarah,
so
yes.
much as working women, men, and I'm starting to see that in the generation before, and now they're starting to do that and become fight or flight again. And we
Mhm.
all need to listen to the previous generation and see what has and has not worked.
Yes, because there are things that are quite astoundingly have not worked that seem so logical and so wonderful, and they just didn't work.
Hmm. Yeah.
But our wisdom in our hearts, in our gut,
Mm.
okay, in that vagus nerve connection, if we connect to all of those and don't simply live above our necks, you will find that there is such wisdom in your body and in your heart and in your gut. There is so much wisdom to be accessed that it will not only enrich your own life, but the ripples that you send out in this world travel and change the people around you. My 6-word bio is changing myself to change the world.
Mm.
And that's where we start. That's where we start is right there.
Love that. You've had a very interesting experience because where you started, people that don't know you, you ran away to the circus when you were 10 years old. And then you fast forward to years later, you've been a caregiver for over a decade to your ex-husband. And the reason why I want to point both of those experiences out because we have to adapt and reinvent ourselves through our changing times and our life experiences. So I wanted to go back to because a lot of people don't even realize the impact their childhood has on their future experiences.
Wow, where to begin? Oh, Sarah. My running away to the circus, as I say, which was, of course, theater, musical theater and opera, was I was 10 years old and I won a scholarship to Barry College, a summer scholarship to Barry College. And I remember seeing this beautiful girl swinging on a swing on stage. And I was sitting in the darkened auditorium and she was singing, if you'd like to swing on a star, I'll be better off as you are. And I thought, that I want to do that. and the bug bit me, and that was it. So from 10 years old to 50 years old, I was on stage. And the gift of my career, especially in the last 25 years of it, was the world. Sarah, I never would have seen the world. I saw this entire world. I had lunch with the cultural minister of China. I sang for the Sultan of Oman and the Queen of Thailand, and I sang for the Desert Storm troops. And I've eaten on a dirt floor in the Dominican Republic, and
Mm.
I've had these extremes in my life, incredible extremes in my life. But when I walked off stage, and I did so quietly, I didn't say anything. Just, I was in Cordoba and I was doing a Carmen. And I was doing my usual yoga backstage, and I had my leg up on a stage ladder, and I heard a voice. Okay, let's be mysterious now, but it's the truth. I heard a voice that said, "This is the last Carmen you will ever do." And I thought, the last Carmen I will ever do? This has been my life. Wait a minute, this has been my life. What do you mean the last? And I knew. I don't know if there's anybody out there who has had an experience like this. Please tell us, because it was totally weird. And I knew that I was hearing the truth. I knew that it was that it was a truth, and I wrapped up in 24 months, wrapped up all my existing contracts. I didn't sign anymore, and I simply walked off stage into this chasm of, who am I now? I have no idea who I am. Oh my goodness. All of a sudden, this very convenient label that I had lived with my whole life, all of a sudden it wasn't there. And I realized that I had always been the spiritual center of the cast, not just the leading lady, but people would come to me and tell me about their lives.
Mhm.
And so when I got off stage, I thought, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to become a coach. It took me 3 years, and I learned so much, not only about how to help others, but I understood myself better. And I also started teaching at a university, and I love my students. First of all, I never thought I would teach. I had no desire at the time. And I can say that in these years, these students have made me a teacher in such a loving, challenging, exciting way that they changed my life. Because if a student doesn't understand what you're saying, especially when you're doing something that you've done all your life, you forget the beginner mind. You forget that. You walk into a mastermind, and then you have students looking at you like, what did you just say? I didn't understand a single word you just said. So to take your past life and put it in a new context with new language so that I could translate it to university students. And then of course, I was coaching, and I started writing books. I began a construction business, a remodeling business for my husband. I didn't know anything about sheetrock or laying tile, or boy, I learned fast. So I did that. It has been reinvention, absolute reinvention. And then to realize what I thought was a problem with alcohol for my husband was not a problem with alcohol. It was mental illness, and that the alcohol was the medicine
Mm.
that he was using to try to help his situation. So then there was all these legalities and arrests, and I literally had to let my coaching career go, because I remember this one call. I was just horrified. Sarah, I'm on the call with this wonderful client of mine. The phone rings at the same time there's someone knocking at the door. And I said, honey, I'm sorry. I have to go. We can't do this session right now because the psych unit is calling me. The detective is at the door. I have to deal with this. And I realized I had to open my hands and let go.
Mm.
I couldn't do it all, and I couldn't keep dancing and trying to pretend that everything was okay. No, it was all falling apart. And the only person that was standing between him and jail was me. And I realized no one, and this is a passion that I have about mental illness and how marginalized people are. Let me just put you in jail because you're bad. No, you're not bad. You're sick.
Yep.
So that was a tremendous lesson to me. And even though we're divorced and we, of course, are not together anymore, we talk to each other every week, and there is so much love. And because I got his meds balanced, he's in a place where he just says, I understand everything you did.
Mm.
I needed to undergo that. Sometimes the flexibility that is required is so intense that you have to let go of your life as you know it. And I'm sure many of you who are listening to us right now have been through situations like, I'm not alone in this.
No, there's mental
To
health.
have the courage to reinvent yourself, it's scary. It's scary as heck. It scared
Yeah,
the wits out of me.
mental health is so not talked about, even though they're
Oh,
now getting people are more comfortable. Like, actually, I was in New York and I was amazed how people were comfortable enough to say, I'm currently taking this medication. I'm probably not going to have this drink today. I was like, okay,
right.
great. This is wonderful that you're able to speak about this. But there is still a lot of people out there that are hurting or have been told that their mental health isn't real, or
That's
that
right.
you just have to deal with it, suck it up, deal with your stress,
Which
do what
is,
most people do.
and you're
It's the worst.
depressed. Oh, well, you'll be fine. No,
Right.
you won't be fine. You have to deal with this. You have to accept exactly where you are. And society has to have this new education. I'm certainly hoping that in some way that this starts to evolve more and more. Well, I think it is. I think it
Mhm.
is. But oh my goodness. I mean, and COVID brought that all to the fore, didn't it? Because you had
Yep.
to be quiet with yourself. You couldn't run into 10,000 things a day.
Right.
So it
Right.
caused you to face yourself.
So
Mm.
so so after this experience, what got you to the point where you said, "Okay, the coaching business is not serving right now.
Right.
How am I going to reinvent myself yet again?"
For a while, I didn't have any ideas, Sarah. I had no idea. I didn't even know what my name was. I mean, it took me an entire year, and now I'm about a year and a half out from this, an entire year to realize the PTSD that results from this. I mean, if someone knocked on the door, I would get all nervous and upset. It's just my neighbor wanting to know how I was, for heaven's sakes. So there was a great deal of my only refuge was to get quiet,
Mm,
was to write, was to get help. I'm in therapy, and the therapy helped me walk through this situation because I could not have done this alone. And the great healing work that I have done on myself and the forgiveness of those outside of me. And finally, and something that I don't think we realize is that we need to forgive ourselves because I got very high and mighty with myself and thought, well, you should have seen this. Well, no, you know something, I didn't see it because I oftentimes lead with my heart, and that's part of who I am, and that's okay.
mhm,
That's okay. So in that case, I needed to embrace exactly the acceptance of exactly where I was and to be able to admit to the nurses in the psych unit to be able to say to them, I no longer feel safe. Oh, Sarah, I felt like I was betraying him. I was not the strong woman that I pretended to be. I was horrified when that came out of my mouth. If that truth had not come out of my mouth, Sarah, I don't know what would have happened to me
mm,
because that was the element that changed everything. It changed everything. That's why I now am by myself and can work on myself and in putting out in a new way, in a new way to the women, especially to the women who need me
Mhm.
and who are there and who can use this experience that I have, not just the skill, but the vast experience of reinvention, of saying this, I'm not this person anymore. And what's funny is before all of the abuse happened in my life, I'm realizing that I've come back to this little 3-year-old who is wildly enthusiastic about life. And I'm finding this joy has risen again in me, but it took time. This took over a year until I started to feel this way, Sarah. There was no pill to take for it. There was nothing. You have to walk through this.
Mhm.
And the walking through this in the 3 things that are very important in my program and with my clients is always 1, accept exactly where you are, like me realizing that I was afraid and that I thought I was in danger. So finally admitting I no longer feel safe. That was huge. Then asking for what you really want. Because many times in our lives, we are asking for what we think we can get, not for what we really want. So I'm beginning to ask for what I really want. Do I always get it? Of course not. But if I don't ask, 100% I won't get it. And
Mhm.
finally, then you start taking action. It isn't running around like a crazy person trying to figure out what to do, is have the courage to stop and allow. There's that word again. And allow the guidance of your soul and your heart to guide you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, in the theater, there's so many experiences that you have that you create all these memories, these beautiful memories. And I don't know about you, but I have felt I've had to go back to those memories when a situation, something so painful happens. Is there one that you went back to when you felt like, hey, I need to recharge or give myself some grace and remember something that was amazing from the theater?
Sarah, just you asking me the question is making me cry. The very first, because I was performing, like I said, from the time I was 10 years old, but probably 10 years into my career, I was at the stage company in Palm Beach and in West Palm Beach, and we were doing Man of La Mancha. And I did an audition for our director, and the director said, I want her. That's it. She's doing Aldonza. Okay. And I had a wonderful stage manager, and the stage manager said, yeah, right. This opera singer's coming into music theater. Well, if you think you're going to get away with not redoing things because you're one of those danged opera singers, well, you have another thing coming, young lady. And I said, okay, that's fine. Whatever you say, I'll do. And sure enough, of course, I did because I started in theater. Yeah, I'd been singing since the time I was 7, but I started in theater. So what happened was it was not only a place where I discovered the joy of being in a dressing room that was no bigger than my office here, and there were 7 of us crammed into this dressing room. And we also did Three Penny Opera. We kept doing shows. But the brotherhood, the love between us, I am so proud to say that I am trashy show folk. Oh boy, I'm proud of that because there is something so beautiful about actors. We deal with the stuff of emotion. We deal with life. And most people, most normal humans don't have the courage to deal with emotion the way actors do.
Mhm.
So having the beauty of these people who are still in my life, we still communicate with each other. There is such beauty. There is such beauty that I remember those days of they had a headache and I could do Reiki and I could get rid of their headaches like that. And my shoulders were hurting and they'd rub my shoulders and we'd be putting on makeup and bumping into each other because we had 3 inches of space to get your face on. That that period of time in my life was so precious to me. It was so precious to me. And the beauty of people on stage in theater that have the courage to reveal their hearts is something that anyone who has the opportunity to experience that needs to feel the magic of opening your heart and saying, "Here I am. In all my beauty, in all my ugliness, in all my humanity, here I am." It's what a privilege to be on stage and to stand in that light.
Uh,
It's, oh my goodness, it's a treasure, Sarah,
I love that. Yeah.
treasure. And I know
Yeah.
you must know that.
Yeah. It is. It's amazing. We were just doing 2 music videos out in New York with I have a music partner,
Ooh,
and
fun.
it's called Maybe Soon, and
Yeah.
we did clowning, and it was fun because 'cause I've never done clowning, but
Ooh,
I was doing more of, like, the singer-songwriter thing, but I still had to take on this character, but it was
okay.
fun watching there was this clowning professional that came in and worked with our backup dancers and everything, and it
Yeah.
was a whole new experience for me to watch the process of them developing characters in 30 minutes to do our music video, like, backup dancers and backup clowners, you know? I don't know if that's what they're called,
Ooh,
but
how exciting.
it was very interesting. That's what I love about theater and artistic expression is you can really just go for something new, experience new ideas, and you're collaborating and creating this beautiful space for everyone to just
It's
be
joyous.
them. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so wonderful.
When is that coming out? How exciting.
That will be coming out. I think the first one's in May and the other one will be in the fall
Will
sometime.
you
So
let me know so I can tell my people because they would love it.
yes. Yes, I'll send you some of our
Absolutely.
other stuff we've done, and I absolutely love the project that we've been working on and just keeps developing more and more. It's really cool. But I love talking with other artists, and something I love to end on for all of our listeners talking is about stress because I kind of what you've covered too about like solutions, like a lot of stuff we have to find from inside.
We do.
And I wanted to ask you though, how has stress saved your life?
Well, stress saved my life. I wasn't conscious of it at the time, Sarah, because I didn't realize that I was in an abusive childhood. I was in the middle of it. I was an only child, and I just thought that's the way it is. So I didn't know any better. So the extreme uncomfortableness of the situation caused me to run to theater. And had I not done that, I don't think I'd still be here. I wouldn't be here talking to you today
Mhm.
because it was that stressful and that uncomfortable. And also, something that in one of your recent podcasts, you were talking about what a person who is a procrastinator is. And Nicole was talking about that. And I thought, this is fascinating because, yes, when I get extremely stressed, I try to go to do something that I know I will be successful at. I'll organize my pencils today. It's like, what? Is that what you really need to do, Adria? No. But stress will cause us to do some really strange things. So you procrastinate doing instead what you know you have to do, what is right in front of you and what is calling for your attention.
Mm,
In what quadrant is that? You know? So one thing that I am learning right now is adjusting to my particular reaction to stress. When I start doing a project that makes me very uneasy because I'm not sure I'm up to it, I'm not sure I know how to do it. I'll be working along for, let's say, an hour, and I start getting uncomfortable. Rather than keep pushing myself, I get up from the desk and I go take a walk. I go sing. I dance every single day. They laugh at me in this apartment complex because I dance in the parking lot. Okay. And I do that every single day. It can be Latin, it can be rock, it can be jazz, it can be whatever I'm able to find that makes my body happy, and I move and I dance. So I'll do that, or I sing, or I will create a video. I will do something creative. And then I come back and I look at what was stressing me and I go, oh, okay, I can handle another bite of this right now.
Mm,
So find out in your body and in your heart and mind and soul, what is it that will make you feel better? And don't feel guilty about it. Go do it. Go do it. Because when you come back to the thing that was to your stressor, you will find, wait a minute, let me think about this in a different way.
mm,
That could be in a project, that could be with a relationship. Don't keep trying to push something when it's not working. Back up. Back up a little bit. Write about it to yourself. Write about it. See what comes out of your hands kinesthetically from your body. What comes out of you? And then from a place of calm and stillness, start again. So it's a matter of stop pushing.
mm.
We can't push through stress. If I tried to, well, I tried it. It didn't work. I tried to push myself through everything. Eventually, I had to open my hands and let things go. And I thought, that's disastrous. You're destroying your own business. No, I couldn't, in good conscience, keep giving my clients 50% of me. No, that isn't how I work.
Mm,
I had to release it, and therefore I had to start over again.
amazing.
And if I can, and I'm an old lady, believe me, we all can. Okay? We can. It ain't over until we go like this with our elbows and we don't touch wood, then there's still something more to learn. And there's still a possibility that things can change because we are the artists of our lives.
Mm. How can people connect with you and buy your book?
Oh, absolutely. I have sent you some details, Sarah, that you can put below the podcast. And you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me at adriafirestone.com. That's ADRIA, no U, adriafirestone.com. And /welcome. If you put /welcome, you can join my group on Facebook, which is great fun. I've got a women's group, which I love. You can book yourself 20 minutes with me because I'm doing this wonderful life design formula, the Wise Wild Woman's Life Design Formula, which will probably start next month. And I love getting a group together because we transform each other and we transform lives. And it is so beautiful. So there's that. You can find me, as I said, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. If you go to adriafirestone.com/welcome, you will be able to have 3 different things to do. Okay, and you
Amazing.
can download a report, which is all for rapid change. Why do we have to wait 10 years to change something? We can
Amen.
do something right now.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And listeners, thank you so much for taking the time to have us in your earbuds this week. Really appreciate it. Share your takeaways. Connect with Adria. Go to her welcome page. Grab any resource possible because she's a wealth of knowledge. And I've had a wonderful, joyous time talking to you, Adria. It's been
Wonderful.
great.
I love
And
it.
remember, as always, listeners, don't forget about yourselves. Be kind to yourself on your self love journey. Have a beautiful day.